Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Punk Rock Review, home of a bunch of opinionated crap you don't care about, also the home of the feedback you provide that we don't care about, keeps us on an even playing field, and we like that. Real quick shout out to our sponsor. Moving straight into it today because we don't have one. Today we're going to be talking about why Deadpool has the best roster. And we know what you're saying. What do you mean Deadpool has the best roster? He's just one character. And we'd be like, we're talking about kind of all the movies and such that, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has pertaining and surrounding the character Deadpool. Now, of course, you could say like, well, obviously he has Wolverine, enough said. It's like, no, we are going on a deeper dive than that. You know that there is, a plethora of information that we actually convey and give that is way more substantial than stuff you could get anywhere else. And that's why it's behind a paywall. So feel free to, start letting that money roll in. As soon as we hit enough in the, account there, then we'll continue the video. Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, Cash App. Yep. Oh, we think we got a... Oh. All right. Okay, we're hoping someone gave us money. It sounds like maybe someone did. If not, we'll have to rob our mom's purse when we go upstairs. I mean, get our allowance. But, of course, we aren't just talking about Deadpool Wolverine. Like we said, we're talking about the Deadpool movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and why it has the best roster. Now, this is arguable, obviously, and it is obviously as opinionated as it could be. But these are going to be great opinions because they come from us. Obviously, everyone has a favorite superhero or characters, or they don't. But if they do, then obviously that's what we're talking about. Everyone has their favorite, right? And it's like, this character should be in a movie, or this character should have their own standalone movie and things of that nature. But when Marvel and Disney, whoever owns it, and when Deadpool first released, of course, they had zero eggs in the basket, kind of one of those throwaway titles and such that they thought would garner, little to no support or fandom or anything like that behind it. Well, lo and behold, Deadpool ends up being one of Marvel's best releases, man, and, aside from what, the well-doing Avengers movies or, one or two other standalone titles, whatever, within that little, mix ensemble. You know what we're talking about. Deadpool was a throwaway title, right? And so the budget wasn't there, man, to kind of bring in any of the bigger names. And it's joked about in that fourth wall breakdown and everything along those lines, man. But what really drives home how original Deadpool is, man, is the fact that it does have the best roster. Now, you could say, no, the Avengers has the best roster because it has Hulk and fucking Captain America and Iron Man and on occasion when Sony gives them the rights to it, Spider-Man and stuff, right? Yes, okay, great characters, awesome, yeah. And you got, your X-Men movies and stuff like that, and Wolverine and those ones, and Cyclops, and we're talking about the old ones, and shit, First Class and whatnot, when that came out. Whatever, you got Cyclops there too, you got two Cyclopses, because you have the older X-Men movies too, that first really started jump-starting the superhero thing, even though no one really liked those up to X-Men Last Stand. It doesn't matter. They have some great characters. Avengers has some great characters. Standalone titles, all the Spider-Man movies. Great characters, sure. Fucking Green Goblin, wow. Flying around on his thing. That's awesome. We're not saying there aren't great characters in the other ones. We're saying Deadpool has the best. They have the best because Deadpool revives and resurrects characters that are such lesser renown and injects them into the forefront of a spotlight of attention. And that's phenomenal, because characters that you would never think to see on the screen, and we go back and look at movies like the Deadpool that has Domino in it, and Cable in it and shit, right? No one ever was like, hey, I want a standalone Domino movie. But what you get in Deadpool, we think 2, probably part 2, maybe it's part 1, we don't know, but it's probably part 2. You have Domino in there and shit, and no, you don't get a whole movie of Domino, but you get the character Domino, and you get the character Domino and one of the most epitome of the best Domino they could be. Some of that scene, man, when they are jumping down from that airplane and shit, that is some of the best cinematic, masterfully captured video to transfer and convey to a viewer that we've seen in a long, long time. And it's still in the forefront of our mind of how great that scene is. And how a character like Domino fits into that is sheer perfection, right? Now we say Domino, and it's like, okay, well, where the fuck's the rest of the roster of characters from Deadpool? And it's like, okay, we talked about Cable too. Cable's one of our favorites. So that means that automatically they have some of the best roster, because there you go. But you look at other characters, man, that they have brought out as well, man. You got the Cable and Domino thing, man. Now you got, obviously, Wolverine, Gambit, small iterations of the Human Torch. I mean, this shit is just classic, man. They're pulling just great heroes, man. And whether Human Torch in Fantastic Four, whether he has, just minimal scene, footage or anything like that, he's in it. And you could say, well, what about that, fucking, what was it, Doctor Strange movie and shit with, Reed Richards and all those dudes on the, kind of panel and stuff, judging and stuff, or whatever the fuck they were. That movie sucked. There was all right little, mini part to that scene, but it made no fucking sense, and who gives a shit? All right, Deadpool had a section of Domino where she was jumping out of a plane, and it was fucking badass. And then a car chase scene, and that was badass too. So there you go. It had it all. Now they got, obviously Gambit, phenomenal addition and whatnot, whether you like how he's portrayed or not. Beside the point, he's in it. And he's a character that was lacking in any of the, previous iterations of, the Marvel Cinematic Universe for a good while. Gambit, another one of our favorites. There's just so many characters, man, that never got their chance to even be in the background of, movies and shit. And you'd be like, what about Marvel Civil War when they're fighting at the airport and they have all those characters there? It's like, yeah, that was a huge Civil War. Spider-Man showed up and, he fucking had a shield of Captain America's in his web. It was insane. You had, fours of people fighting at once, and that was so impactful. No, that scene fucking sucked. That movie wasn't any damn good. Okay, maybe it had some good stuff to it. That was Bobo. That was a dumb scene. The Civil War with fucking 4 fucking people. No, that's not a Civil War. That's a family argument. That's what they were having at an airport. Spider-Man showed up. That's it. Deadpool has a better roster of introducing characters and whatnot, or characters that are introduced, as you would say more correctly. Man, it's just phenomenal to be able to see them on the screen, and not only are they introduced and whatnot, okay, Human Torch aside, not only are they introduced, man, they get their little time in the limelight and such, even though it is not designed to be that way. That's what happens, man, and you get a nice little story, man, behind some of these lesser-known characters that, yes, might be very well-renowned and very well-known, but, if you ask the average person walking down the street, hey, the Marvel character Domino and stuff, they'd be like, I don't play dominoes. Be like, that's not what I meant, but that's irrelevant. That's what you would get. And then you would end up playing dominoes, which can be phenomenal fun. But we don't have time for dominoes because this has taken too long already. So, Deadpool has the best roster. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Maybe they don't, but they really have the best roster that's, I guess, conveyed and portrayed in a small cinematic story surrounding that individual in the roster. Because even when you have, Endgame or fucking the Avengers War with, Thanos, and they had all the characters and stuff like that, and, all the gals banded together and, ran Thanos' gauntlet and stuff, all the women assembled on the battlefield and such, and really drove that one home. Yeah, you had all those characters in there, but they didn't have their whole story. We want to, see the backstory of the individual characters, and that's what Deadpool conveys. And obviously you can't show a bunch of characters in every movie, or you wouldn't have any movie left, because all your time would be showing a bunch of different characters. But what does it really well, and shows characters extremely well, is Deadpool. And that's what we're talking about. So there you go. Deadpool having the best roster. What can be said about this one? Well, it gets a good old-fashioned okay, because we say so. So, okay, guess Deadpool has the best roster. You're welcome. Give us money. Have a good one, you probably didn't. We'll catch you next time. Probably won't.